All right, y'all. Nolan returned to the show only for him to be the least of Mark's problems and worries by the end of the episode. Let's talk about it. Okay, so we pick up with Nolan, and I'm supposed to give a fuck that he's having this emotional moment, but girl, here we go. I mean, he just flying around the solar system, around these damn galaxies and shit, just sad as hell. I'm just like, I do not care, girl. You are a fucking monster, girl. You are a monster. Feel what you gotta feel, do what you gotta do, but don't expect empathy from me, girl. Now, I wanna know what you think. Were we supposed to think that he was about to try to end his life here by like just letting the black hole take him? Because for a moment I thought I saw him like try to drift into the black hole, like he just was surrendering to it, right? Like he just was over it. But then the Thraxans came or whatever, and he saved their ass, and they accepted him as their leader or whatever. So Mark's silly ass had followed, last time we left off with Mark's silly ass had followed a bug halfway across the goddamn universe to another planet he ain't never seen before in his goddamn life. And, you know, Nolan shows up and was just like, what's the tea, girl? And so Mark sees his dad, and he walks up to him like he's gonna do something. Even in the trailer, I was just like, bitch, I know you're not gonna do anything, bitch. You now, first of all, now's not the time. Okay, you should have been over here training hard as hell, asking Cecil for files on Viltrumite. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if Cecil even know what the tea is. But you should have been doing some kind of research, some kind of tea, working out at the fucking galactic gym, getting your shit together instead of lollygagging around, you know what I mean, getting beat up under the sea like you were Sebastian, girl, by the Atlanteans. You know, with these relationship problems girl, you should have been busy, bitch. Your father dragged you through a train, bitch. You should have been working out. Girl, so at the end of all this fucking grandstanding, he hugs him, and what's crazy to me is that even in this, Nolan was ready to beat his ass. Nolan had his fist ready. So here come Nolan trash ass bitch. Like I'm talking about, Nolan is so goddamn trash. Okay, so he's talking about, oh, the Thraxans need you, girl. Mark tries to protest this, like, girl, you caught mom a pet, you killed all those people, why the fuck do you think I want to see you again? And Nolan says, oh, I just made a mistake. It's like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Making a mistake is like, girl, get me the wrong brand or something from the grocery store, bitch. You smashed the train through my skull, bitch. Like, you got to be kidding me, bitch. Right? So, and that's essentially what Mark says. Like, he tries to fly away, but even then I was like, girl, OMNI is not gonna let you leave this goddamn planet. Like, I was girl, you already here. You're already here. So until you have the strength and skill to fight this nigga, you gonna have to just sit here and take this bullshit. Like, you're already on the planet. So I'm like, unless you gotta find a way of an escape, play along until you could get, but like the time for fighting and all that shit is over. That's not, fighting this nigga is over. It hasn't come yet. Okay. So yeah, he tries to fly away. OMNI was just like, look, okay, you can't get home anyway. It's millions of miles. You don't know the way. Just stay for them. At least stay for the Thraxans because they're in danger. OMNI said he didn't conquer them, and they just asked him to be their emperor since it's safe, they asked. And it's like, okay, okay. That's the same thing Mark says, like, okay, conqueror, emperor, whatever. And then we see that not only is OMNI married already, like he got another motherfucker already. And I'm just like, OMNI, you are literally Zeus. What are you fucking? What are you fucking? Not only is OMNI married already, but he has a goddamn bastard. He has a little bastard, bitch. He has a little bastard. And he uses this fucking Barney looking motherfucker to try as a reason to try and get Marks to stay. You gotta protect him. He's your brother. Da, da, da. What the fuck do you mean? That's your seed, bro. That's your spawn. You're gonna have to deal with that shit. What? My question is, how many other planets did OMNI do this shit on? How many came before Debbie? How many of his little spawn does he have running around? And they might be the only way you can fight this motherfucker, Mark. At this point, you gotta see if there's like, you know, you got an older brother somewhere, girl. You really got Mark, I'm telling you, Mark, you got to get your shit together. You got to get your shit together, bro. So checking in on Debbie not doing good, bro. Like, Debbie walking around the town barefoot, bitch. Like, she's, oh my God, someone get her ass to Journeys or, DSW or something. The nearest Foot Locker, please, somebody help her ass out. Honestly, I thought she was going to jump off that bridge. I'm not gonna lie. We need to keep an eye out on Debbie for real. She even visits Nolan's grave, talking about why me? Everything was a lie. Like, the only thing that was real was Mark, and you tried to take him too. So it was just really, someone please do a wellness check on her ass. This moment was important because Donald ends up visiting the site where the other Donald died and found the other Donald's glasses. I was like, ooh, very creepy and eerie. Omni-Man said that as a Viltrumite, he should not have breeded with the Thraxans, and it's just like, duh, nigga, you think? The fuck? Them bitches live for a year. What are you? Anyway, he's saying, I was just waiting for the moment. Like, why you brought Mark here, bro? You need something, obviously. So essentially, the Viltrumites will know that he abandoned his post on Earth, and they will come for him. They will see his purple ass, Barney ass son as inferior and kill him. And Mark tenses up at this and is obviously concerned about the fact that this baby is about to be killed. But honestly, I would be like, girl, you should have thought about that shit before you put your dick in a bug, bro. You should have thought about all this Viltrumite shit, all this breeding shit, interbreeding shit, the Viltrumite rules. You should have thought about all that shit, bro, before you start putting your dick in a bug. And I want to know, what other creatures have you placed that seed in? All right. So of course, if you got these Viltrumites coming at your head, Omni-Man is just one Viltrumite. He can't stand against all them bitches. Like, he just cannot. And so I was like, there it is. You need Mark's fucking help to help you fight these motherfuckers off. Omni-Man says he can't stop them alone. So of course he's trying to use Mark as firepower. Omni-Man says he can train Mark, but it's too late because the Viltrumites are already fucking here. So Mark takes his half brother and stepmom to the caves. And we find out, like I said, that Thraxans live only for a year. They do things quickly, growing, learning, loving. They do it, all of it quickly because they only got fucking 12 months, girl. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But the Viltrumite DNA is slowing down the kids aging. So I wonder if that will balance out to like a regular or normal human's lifespan. Because like, if Viltrumites can live for thousands of years or whatever, I don't even know, hundreds of years. I don't even know how many. And these people the Thraxans can only live for like 1 year. I wonder what that balances out to. But either way, Miss Mama said that by the time she found out about Invincible and his mom, that she was already pregnant. And honestly, I'm very surprised that she found out at all. I feel like the only reason she found out is because Mark was gonna have to show up anyway, right? Like, to help Omni-Man do this shit. So I wonder if that's the only reason why he even told her ass, like, girl, just in case you see this motherfucker come down, that's my son, but I'm surprised that he even told her ass that shit at all. So this Viltrumite shows up, and I immediately recognized him as the voice of Green Lantern from Justice League Unlimited. I think also Static Shock, right? Phil Lamar, I think is his name. He absolutely beats Invincible's ass. I loved when he pushed his head into the ground with his finger. I'm like, oh, Mark, getting beat up again. What's new? Nothing new, nothing changed. Same old fucking shit. Same old shit. And he finds out that Nolan made another child. Viltrumites obviously do not like that shit. Nolan arrives now, and they all fight. Now, the way that this guy was cut open was absolutely crazy. I'm like, y'all do not spare anybody on this show. His entrails flailing around like that. So Adam Eve confronts this robber here, and it seems like she needed to really let off some steam. She was pretty braggy and cocky and pissed. Seemed like she was hurt. She was, dealing with a bunch of emotions, and she just needed somebody to take it out on. And I cannot blame her. I don't blame her, but I could tell that something was about to happen. You kind of messing up, mama. You slipping. Your wig is slipping a little bit. Your wig, fix it. It's slipping, babes. Just slipping. It's all right. You just got to fix her a bit. So she deflects this blast here, and it sends this car off the edge of the bridge. She tries to save them, but gets knocked the hell out and drops. Not knocked out, but like she got knocked a little bit around and drops the car. And she manages to lift them out, but it's still not looking good. So it's just like, whew. I don't know, like, at the end of the day, you're still human, so sometimes those things happen. She was bragging, she's like, girl, get up. When she was fighting that nigga, she's like, get the fuck up, I'm not done with you. Sometimes things happen, and as a human who makes mistakes, those mistakes, I can imagine, must feel even heavier when those mistakes are made with superpowers, right? But yeah, I mean, y'all not gonna get me to hate my girl. I'm sorry. Y'all not, she made a mistake and she's gonna learn from it, whatever. So I like this conversation here because Debbie's really going through it. She was like, we're all those 20 years a lie. It's just a lot, right? And he's trying to encourage her here by saying, hey, honestly, Nolan's the one with superpowers. He's indestructible. You're the one who's strong, at least to me. You know, you're the reason we're all still alive and not slaves or worse, and that's true. So I really like this moment because sometimes when you're really fucked up in the head, sometimes, or something has really messed you up, you need a friend to help you see the other side of things sometimes. And when they say certain things, you're like, oh shit, you're right. You know, and it can offer just an easier time when it comes to healing, right? I love this scene here when Donald ends up watching old Donald's death, which was creepy as hell to me. I mean, we already saw it, but I can only imagine watching an old you die. Like, what the hell? And not even knowing what you are. Like, that to me is creepy. Oh my gosh. So the two remaining Viltrumites have massacred Thraxans. And I was sitting here waiting the entire episode for Omni-Man to be physically violent to Mark. And lo and behold, it came. I was like, girl, I'm just waiting for the moment. He gonna pop off on your ass. And I'm just like, I'll be wanting to shake Mark like, yo, this is what you get with this nigga. You got to just don't put no type of hope into him. Don't do nothing but try and find a way out from under this man's thumb. Oh my gosh. But Omni-Man is pissed at himself, right? The source of his many issues, in my opinion, is that he's pissed at himself. He hates himself, right? So he's angry at himself because he cares about the Thraxans, apparently. They're lesser life forms. They're these lower species. And he's just like, I'm not supposed to feel this way, while choking Mark out. And this is important because, like I said, Nolan hates himself. He hates himself for feeling empathy for these so-called lower life forms, these lower beings. Mark feels empathy for these quote-unquote lower life forms, humans, whatever, these beings, which Nolan was trying, that empathy, Nolan was trying to beat that out of him. But the abuse that Nolan dishes out to Mark is so extreme, in my opinion, because it's how much he hates himself. You know, he's like, I'm going to beat this shit out of you like I'm trying to beat it out of me. And I mean, he's even crying in this image, right? He hates himself. He hates himself. It's trauma. And then Mark says, this is how you should have felt on Earth. And it makes me think about two things. It makes me think about the parents who traumatize their kids, and those traumatized kids still, in some cases, go back and help their parents through their trauma, even though their parents' trauma is the source of the kids' trauma. Does it make sense? Like, I'm traumatized and you come over here choking me out, traumatizing me, trying to get me to help you through your fucking trauma. And it reminded me of that shit. And that to me is some weird generational cycle, crazy trauma shit. Okay. And then it also made me think of, you know, what kind of redemption arc they're going to try and attempt to give this man. Because, I mean, Mark is implying like, okay, this is how you should have felt on Earth. I mean, the show to me is implying that, hey, if Mark is saying this is how he should have felt on Earth, that means, you know, Mark's going to open his eyes and Omni-Man is going to be able to feel empathy for other organisms. That means he has come around, right, from the person he used to be, who was slamming Mark's face through a fucking subway. And I'm just like, okay, I get that y'all want to redeem and have a redemption arc for every fucking villain on the planet. But what I'm saying is that someone can be redeemed and still at the same time pay a hefty price for the bullshit that they did. Like, okay, you know, and that the shit that Omni-Man was doing was fucking horrific. So yeah, you know, you can have your journey forward, but you know, if you've left a trail of destruction, you've left a trail of death, destruction, and trauma. And you're going to have to come to terms with it. You're going to have to deal with that. And a price must be paid. Like, it doesn't matter how many new wives you love if you fucking up if you fucking up the lives of your past wives. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how many more kids you have and try to love. If you have not even acknowledged or tried to make amends for or apologize for, you know, improved yourself from the person who was traumatizing your your previous kids. You just gonna get a new wipe. People are not computers that you can, okay, well, I'm just wipe the slate clean, wipe this shit clean, and I'm gonna act like it never happened. No, you've left destruction in your path, okay? And so I'm glad that you getting emotions and empathy for these new people or whatever, but an acknowledgement and a price has to be paid for what the fuck you did to all these other people behind in your past. Anyway, the 2 remaining Viltrumites show up, right? And they fight. So I love Miss Mama's hair with the blade on the braid. The blade on the braid. And now I wonder if this can pierce Viltrumite's skin. I wonder what kind of metal it is, right? But either way, that wig, that braid was iconic. But she tearing his ass up. Like, she tearing Invincible ass up. Invincible ain't invincible. She tearing his ass right on up. And even Omni-Man had to come down and say, yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You need to get your shit together. You're getting your ass handed to you. She's tearing you apart. Mark S always get beat up. I'm telling you. Mark S always get beat up. Omni-Man is just as pissed as the viewers are when he's saying this shit. Like, bitch, we be pissed at Mark the same way you pissed at Mark for this shit. Omni-Man said, look, she's trying to kill you, so you need to kill her, and that's it. Like, stop playing with me. You're fighting like you still on Earth. Invincible's like, no, I don't kill people. I mean, yeah, I don't kill people. I can't kill people. Like a damn clown. Omni-Man said, girl, get a grip. We all gonna die if you don't stop playing around, bro. Like, get a grip. Get a grip. So Mark fights her. It was so wild to see him grab her by that braid and toss her into this. I was like, oh my God, they really scrapping, girl. So he gets her, almost defeats her, and instead of just going ahead and killing her, he hesitates and gets stabbed. A lesson he will hopefully never forget, girl. You really tried it. If you had not hesitated, and this person tried to kill you, girl, and you're gonna get gagged when they strike back, girl. Anyway, if you had not hesitated, you wouldn't be in this situation right now. If you trying to kill me, guess what? All bets are off. All the gloves are coming off. We're gonna get into it. That's just it. What do you mean? So just as she is about to kill him, he gets stabbed, right? Just as he's about to kill him, he cries out and says, "Dad!" And he flies over immediately and kills her. The kills on the show are crazy. I mean, that jaw was hanging off. Like, oh my God, just go aim for my brain, bro, and stop playing with me. I do not want this jaw swinging like a loose ass wooden door on a disintegrating house. But that's exactly what it looked like. Omni-Man saved his life here, and so it seems like Mark gonna be even more attached to his abuser, and I really hate that for him. Really hate that for him. So Phil Lamar comes back down and breaks Omni-Man's back, it seems. Just because, I mean, I definitely thought that this particular Viltrumite was dead in the cave, but he apparently was not. Broke Omni-Man's back, I think. He said next time you kill somebody, make sure they are dead. Then he dies. Okay, here, so the Viltrumites are taking Nolan, and he tells Invincible, don't forget the good I did. Okay, my books, read my books. So I'm sure we're gonna see what that means. Next episode after that. Adam Eves goes back to her fucked up ass parents, or at least her fucked up ass dad. Cannot stand that for her. Donald's knife bends when he cuts himself. So yeah, he's some kind of robot, something. He ain't human. I mean, we already knew that, but it definitely confirms that for him. He bent the fuck out that knife. And so since Mark survived the battle, this general who looks like Sinestro says, you've proven yourself, basically, so you're going to take Nolan's place on Earth in our army and complete his mission, get Earth ready for us to come over there and start our rule. If you don't like it, we're going to kill everybody on the planet, and that's just that. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell. This is terrible. This is terrible for Mark. I think, like I said, maybe his only hope is recruiting the rest of Omni-Man's seed and hoping that they're in, situations kind of like him, kind of like he was, where, you still have a loyalty to whatever planet you were raised on. Like, so maybe they can join together, build an army, and fight the Viltrumites, but it's just not looking. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, babes. And I think that Omni-Man would have a high number of children out there in the universe, because it's just like, if you were doing all this, if you did this shit so quick, it wasn't even a month or 2 months, it wasn't even a year that you was gone, and you already have a whole nother fucking family, bitch. And you've been living for how many hundreds of years? There's no telling how many of these motherfuckers walking around, how many of your kids walking around. So maybe that's the only chance that Mark can stand against it. These other heroes, I don't know if they could really deal with a Viltrumite. We saw how they tore up Alan ass. So I'm just like, y'all gonna need all the help you can get. Mark, you done turned into a fucking lieutenant in the army and shit. You done turned into a first officer, bitch. Bitch, you left Earth and ended up being drafted into the Viltrumite army, bitch. You got to be kidding me, girl. I don't know what he's gonna tell Earth. I mean, you have to tell Earth something. I would have to tell him something. I'll be like, look, y'all, I'm just letting y'all know that this motherfucker, they coming down here. So we could either try to join up and fight, or maybe we could, I don't know. What do you even tell, I don't know. What do you even tell the population? Do you tell them anything, bitch? I'm not enslaving Earth, bitch. Are you serious? Like, what? I'm getting them ready to be conquered? We just gonna have to fight and die. Like, bitch, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing that shit. So, yeah, let me know what y'all thought of this episode. It was great to me. Of course, we don't get another episode until 2024, because this was the mid-season finale. They're gonna take a moment, take a break, and then come back. So, unfortunately, it will be a little time before we get another episode. But yeah, this is the mid-season, and it already has my wig. It has snatched the fuck out my wig. I cannot wait to see how they go. Like, what the fuck is gonna happen to Omni-Man? Like, jeez, they escorted his ass off the premises, bitch. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll check y'all later. Peace.